So today is the saddest day of the year. And I mean, not for me personally, like nothing bad has happened, but I suppose statistically speaking, today is the saddest day of the year. It is January 19th, or Blue Monday. That's the third Monday in January. And it's become known as Blue Monday for a couple of different reasons. We all have the post-holiday blues. We're all feeling a little bit poor after spending all our money over Christmas. The days are short and dark. And as well as that, we're all struggling to keep up with those New Year's resolutions that we promised ourselves we'd do at the start of the year. So I've come out this morning, I've come out to shoot this morning because I know personally that doing this really helps with my own mental health. And I think it will help today not be the saddest day of the year. And the plan is today as well is to film, edit and upload this video all on the saddest day of the year on January the 19th. And hopefully there'll be a few of you guys out there that watch it. Maybe it brings a little bit of joy to your day and therefore will help your day not be the saddest day of the year. Now, in all honesty, I don't think there's really much science behind the saddest day of the year. In fact, there are rumours that the idea of it was actually invented by a travel company to encourage people to book winter holidays to the sun. But over the years, the media has run with it, and lots of articles about dealing with mental health are published each Blue Monday. So what started off as a bit of a joke or a publicity stunt has now become a day to spread mental health awareness and start a conversation. And I'm lucky. I have a supportive partner, and whenever everything gets too much for me or the world in general just starts to seem a little overwhelming, she'll notice my mood has dropped and persuade me to get out the door. When my mood's down, she'll insist I get outside and spend some time doing something I enjoy to bring me back. Unfortunately though, not everyone is quite as lucky. So you might have been able to tell from me walking down here that Minowanka has changed a lot since last time I was here. And it wasn't actually that long ago I was here. A lot more of the lake is frozen, but because it's been freezing in this kind of like a freeze-thaw sort of situation, there's a lot of cool ice formations, a lot of like blocks of ice sat on top of the lake. There's a lot of kind of ice and snow in amongst the rocks. So it hasn't frozen in kind of like a perfectly flat way, which is actually pretty cool for photography. And I've set myself up with a little shot right here as well for the kind of first shot of the morning. And just in front of me here, we have kind of a pool of ice almost with a rock sat in it, and then rocks sort of surrounding it, and then a little bit of snow and rock kind of fading off into each direction as well. And I just wanted to get a little shot in just before the colour completely left the sky. As per usual, filming takes too long, and I should have been here an extra 20 minutes earlier. But the point of today is really just to get outside. And with this shot, I'm kind of trying a couple of different things because I need to be a little bit wider in all honesty. I'd like to almost have like a square 1-to-1 type crop on this. So I'm shooting panorama across the bottom and across the top, and also throwing a couple of different like focus stacks in there as well, like focusing on the mountain and the back and the midground. And I'll just play with those when I get home and see if I can make that work all together to have like the equivalent of what would probably be like almost like an 11mm viewpoint, I think. But yeah. Might be a nice little shot to start off the saddest day of the year. Hopefully that shot turned out okay. I'm just gonna kind of head on around the lake now for a bit of an explore, I think. Just got to take advantage of these kind of ice formations that we're getting at this time of year, because it's not particularly common. And apologies if some of the footage looked a bit strange in that last one. Maybe I looked a little bit too soft-skinned because somehow I had the glamour effect on. I don't know how I turned that on, don't really know what it does, but maybe I looked like I had a bunch of makeup on. I looked really smooth-skinned. But I'm older than that. I've got more wrinkles. But anyway, we might be able to find some ice bubbles or something along the shorefront here as well, because yeah, there's no snow on top of the ice, so we might be able to find something pretty cool. So you might be able to see down here behind me in the lake, you can just about see that. You can see there's kind of really strange patterns and ice formations that have formed because of the way the lake is frozen. It's kind of thawed and frozen throughout the last month or two. And you can kind of see almost squares of ice and floating icebergs all through here. So I think I need to try and include some of that in a foreground, I think. So maybe if I walk on around the lake a little bit around here and get down to the shorefront, I might be able to get that in the foreground. Lake Minowanka is a bit of a strange one though, to be fair, in regards to kind of a sunrise, because the sun does kind of rise behind the mountains over here and you get some nice colour in the sky, but then you don't get a lot on the mountain itself. And the mountain here is really dark. You can kind of see it's got a lot of woodland on it, and that woodland doesn't tend to get a lot of snow on it. So you get this really dark section at the bottom of it, which can make it a little bit hard to edit actually. But we will persevere and see what we can get, because today is all about being outside. So in all honesty, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make this work this morning. I think to photograph these ice formations here, I really need to be a little bit higher. But if I go higher, I kind of have to go further around the lake that way, and then I kind of lose the angle that I'm after. So it might not work, which is unfortunate. It's always a little bit of a shame if you don't walk away with an image that you're after. But it is all about being outside, and I'm a huge advocate for just getting outdoors. And personally, I like to get outdoors for any reason I can, whether that's kind of go hiking, climbing, running, camping, or kind of just go for a bike ride. And of course, photography is another reason why I get outside. And it's all about disconnecting. And obviously, with everything going on in the world and the kind of political state of everything, it's really nice to disconnect sometimes. And that's what it's all about, getting out to somewhere like here, out into nature, getting away from the internet, away from social media. And there's no phone signal here, so I can't check my social media, I can't check the news. All it is me out on my own, in nature, concentrating on what I'm doing and just the landscape around me. And that really is a fantastic way to spend your time. And it's this little thing here that gives me the reason to do that. And I have to say, I really do love photography for that. This little thing here just gives me so much purpose and so much reason to get outside. If conditions aren't the best for kind of running or cycling or anything like that, there's normally something worth shooting. So it will get me out of bed on the coldest mornings, get me outside during the shortest days, and it will get me up the top of mountains on summer evenings as well, all because of this little camera. So I highly recommend, if you're a photographer, get out as much as you can. Just always give it a go, even if the conditions aren't maybe exactly what you want them to be, or they're not forecast to be the best conditions. And if you're not a photographer, maybe consider getting a camera, or you probably have a phone, so get out and shoot with that in the mornings. Even if on a morning like today, I probably haven't ended up with any of like the best images. I saw a beautiful sunrise this morning, some beautiful colour in the sky, and I got to spend some time outdoors, out here in the mountains. So you can't really complain about that, can you? So if you can, take a little bit of time to disconnect from the world, and photography is a really great way of being able to do that. But no matter what it is you enjoy doing, if you can set aside a little bit of time to do it, it can do wonders for your mental health. And of course, be sure to check in on those friends too. But I've just about finished that edit, so we'll upload it, and it should be just about ready now. So today is the saddest day of the year. As always, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you on the next video. But in the meantime, be sure to download a Canadian Rockies photography location guide using the QR code on screen or the link in the description below. And go on, watch another video.